What's going on YouTube? It's Jared time. Today I wanted to do another car fabrication part thing, and I do like going camping, and sometimes I want to take the car off-road in my Crosstrek 2019, and you know, it's not really meant for a rock crawler, but I have taken it off-road in some situations, and sometimes I just want to feel safer in those situations, and I wanted to use a skid plate, but skid plates are, you know, the Rally Tech one is $300, so I looked up online and saw if there's any way to fabricate one or make one for myself. So I saw there are some methods, and I wanted to give it a shot and document my process. So you look over here, you know, I forgot my car jack, but you know what you could do is just drive up a curb if you have one, right? You drive up a curb, and there's plenty of videos that show how to take off the OEM skid plate, right? It's made out of plastic. It's actually not that bad, but I don't know if it'll protect you from anything. There's like a pin right there, and then you just follow the rest. There's like these bolts are 12 millimeter, and this big one goes into this, and then there's another one. Sorry, it's all like not straight. There's like 4 pieces of it. So what I did was I went to local Home Depot, and I got the biggest, thickest sheet metal that they have. And if you see here, this 24 by 24 gauge. Now, I've never done any kind of work like this before, so I don't know if I'll be successful with this or not. That was about $40, but this is pretty substantial. Like, I mean, if a rock were to hit this, it's not gonna get messed up, I think. And if you look, 24 by 24 inches, it fits over this pretty well, right? So what I'd have to do is drill the bolts out here. I don't have a cardboard big enough, which is a mistake of mine, so I just took a random cardboard. What I'm gonna try to do is use the cardboard to make where the drilling points, where it needs to go under there, and then try to drill it. I don't know if this will work. My neighbor was talking to me and explaining to me that 16 gauge steel is like really tough to do or to work with, but you know, I don't know if I want to damage this and not be able to return it. So we'll see. I'll get back to you guys, but that's where I'm at right now. I took off the skid plate. I got this metal sheet here. It is the right size. Like, if you look at this, right, like that hole right there, along with this hole right here, fits right there. So what I'd have to do is like bend this so that it can like go underneath the header. So, because ultimately what you want the skid plate to do is cover, you know, the header and the oil pan, which is this whole thing right here. So I need to make it so that the skid plate drills in here and then drills back here. So those one and that back there, back there too. So I just need to make 4 drills and then make it come up at an angle and then flat like that. So that's what I plan on doing. I don't know if that's possible to do. But yeah, that's where I'm looking at it right now. So we'll see if I actually want to take it through all the way and show you guys what I did, and if I fail, you know, I'll show you guys that too. All right, so I'm underneath here. I'm like leveling out my cardboard. You see, like this is where the first bolt will go. And this is kind of a janky way, but I put the cardboard there. I kind of tried to make it straight with the car, and oh gosh, sorry, it's all shaky. And now I'm like looking to see where I want to have the other bolt, which is right here. So I'm like, I just have my knife. I'm kind of like screwing it in like that, and I'm gonna bolt the other bolt into it and then do the same with the other 4 parts. Alright, so here I am underneath the car. I got all the bolts that need to be drilled in place. You see, there's really only 4 bolts back here that hold that skid plate up, you see. So all I did was pretty much look on the top of this thing, cut a hole into it where I estimated it, and then just kind of drilled it. So what I'm gonna do now is undo these bolts and put this over the steel just so I could draw it. I don't know if this is like the right placement, because you know this is covering, like, imagine this is the steel and it would be covering this, but there's not really that much to damage when on this side the steel, like, I mean, it would be covering this. I don't know. So we'll see. This is a metal thing that needs to be protected too. So we'll see. All right. You might be thinking, why did you have to do that under the car? Why didn't you just use the spacing on the skid plate, the stock one, to use the measurements? And you would be right. But I just wanted to make it sure that it would fit. But here it is. These are the placements of the bolts. So I would need to, after this, right, what I will do is just put this on this, like so, and try to draw where I would need to drill those bolts, right? So that would be my next step, because I don't think I need to cut the sheet metal that much, but I do need to drill bolts big enough for these to go in, and maybe even have to get aftermarket bolts to drill up. But yeah, I'll get back to you guys in a little bit. All right, so here we are again. I kind of scrapped that idea of the cardboard. I watched some guy do it and I figured I'd try it, but I don't think it's just working for me, maybe because I'm not that accurate with the markers. But what I'm gonna do right now is, I'm underneath my car. It's not jacked up anymore. I just have a 2-inch lift, but see these white spacer things? That's where this needs to drill in. And what I'm thinking of doing is just putting this directly under that, so the bolts will go directly here, and that's how it'll rest. And I'll just bolt that up. And because there's this like thing right here that's like kind of stopping it, and I think there's like, I won't have to cut anything if I just make it stop right there, right? It's just gonna bolt into that like that. So the idea is that I'm just gonna press this on, and the bolts back here, I'm gonna have to cut some pieces in the back. So that's more the part where it's gonna be trickier, is the back rather than the front. So I think the front I could just bolt it on like this, I'm hoping. And if not, oh well, it was worth a try. But the Super Crosstrek already has like a pretty, sorry for the noise. Oops. The oil pen is back here, right? So it's actually pretty far up there. But yeah, it will be good to protect it somehow still. So this bolt right here and here, oops, not there. So like those are the 2 bolts that I need to hook this back thing up to, and I'll try to figure something out. All right, fast forward, I'm at my workbench. This is the metal plate. I tried my best to square it out. I'm using a black marker now. See, these are those pins where I had those white spacer things, and I think that's the approximate size. This will be the back, that's towards the cat. What I'm gonna do is cut this piece out, hopefully. So this is again 16 gauge steel. All I have to cut it is this Dremel tool that I bought, this metal cutting thing. So I really hope this works, and if not, oh well. It doesn't have to be super nice. I do have like a metal file, but again, what I did is, here is the OEM one. I just kind of put it on top of it like that, and tried to make it as square as possible. This might not turn out the best, but I want to do it. Sorry. So yeah, what I did was I lined it up as square as possible, since this is a square. Right? I lined it up like that, measured it out. You see right here, like this originally would be the space for, I'm not sure what piece would go here, but these would be the 4 bolts. So the 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm hoping to cut this out, and then this will just sit right under the wheel, the engine carriage. I might have to cut something like this out too. We'll see when we get there, but yeah, for now I'm gonna do these. So yeah, I'll fast forward when I go to the next step. So I just finished the first kind of cut. The Dremel tool does work really well. It's cutting through it all right. You know, you just kind of got to be patient. I kind of want to do this just to show you guys what it looks like. It is pretty loud, so yeah, you just got to be patient with the Dremel tool. I mean, it can cut through metal, but let me just show you what it looks like. Sorry, I paused it real quick, but yeah, you can see it's cutting through it slowly. I'm kind of doing this with one hand, so it's a little sketch. I am wearing eye protection, so that's really important, and I do have gloves on, so you want to make sure you stay safe out there. But yeah, I'm gonna keep continuing to cut this out until this is all cut. The next thing to do will be to drill holes in that, and then we'll see what happens from there. Alright, so I'm slowly making progress on here. I brought my tripod out, but you can see, I mean, it's not the cleanest. I could file this down, but yeah, the thing with the Dremel tool is you usually want to go from the outside in, because it's usually for cutting pipes. But look, I mean, this is steel, and it's able to cut through that. This is look how this looks. But I just wanted to show you guys the progress that I have. I kind of look like pretty silly right here with my glasses, but the face mask, because it does throw up sparks. But I wanted to show you guys what this looks like. So yeah, you want to like come in from here, and then just kind of bring it around, and yeah. So yeah, that's just a little preview of how I'm doing this right now. Again, patience, because you don't want to go too hard on the tool. I mean, it's capable of doing it, but you just got to be really patient, because this is pretty thick metal. Anyway, So yeah, I'll get back to you guys when the step's done. Alright, so as you can see, the job was done, right? This is like a kind of a thick steel, right? It's I don't know, maybe an 1/8 of an inch, and it was able to cut through it. You can see it's pretty jagged because I messed up in some parts, but it's not that big of a deal. So what I'm gonna do now is, on my Dremel tool, I am going to use this thing and just see if I can smooth it out a little bit. Alright, so my fabrication was a little off. You can see back here, this is where I did the cut, hoping that it would clear whatever part that is, but it does not. So I'm gonna have to, ultimately I want it to be like that, right, where that thing is exposed and that thing just bolts onto that. So, and I need to cut this piece off so it doesn't hit that. And if you see, this white part is sort of go here, like so, and I want it to not hit that, so I'm gonna have to hit the drawing board again. Okay, so I'm back at my mock-up here. I have the OEM skid plate again. This is where I got the idea for the cuts, and you see, like, I left some room just because I wasn't sure how far I wanted to take it. Now what I'll probably just do is cut this out some more. On this side, cut this out some more and leave just some room for the bolt to go right there. And then I might have to cut this part out. So if you remember when I was underneath, that was what I said I'd have to cut. So it's better to have some on there and, you know, cut off more than to cut off too much and be like, oh crap, I need to take this out. Anyway, all right, so I'll get back to you on the next step. So it's nighttime. I don't have that much light, but I just want to finish up this part 1. I'll have to do a part 2 tomorrow, but it is coming along nicely. The bolts should go somewhere around here. I gotta cut a little bit deeper for this, so it'll go around this part. The other bolt will go on this thing. But yeah, it's coming along all right. Stay tuned for part 2.